What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. For today's video, we are going to be looking at the top 5 most scariest stories. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I do just want to say thank you for all of the support on the most recent video. My girlfriend and I were attacked by a ghost. So last weekend, my girlfriend and I were attacked by a ghost. Now I should mention that my family has a long history of being able to see and feel ghosts going back to my great-grandmother. My father was very sensitive with this kind of stuff and would often tell me about his experiences with ghosts around my house. He would tell me his experiences with a Ouija board that he played with when he was younger. My brother and I are both able to see and feel ghosts, and he has been talking about a woman in white that has been roaming the house, specifically his room. We've both seen her, and it's been going on for a few years, but she never really bothered us, so we didn't mind her being around. However, recently, I've been getting the feeling that there might be something a little more sinister around the house. Last weekend, my girlfriend and I were laying in bed, and all of a sudden our dog goes ballistic and is running to the curtains, blocking the door and pacing back and forth frantically. I tried to calm her down, but she wouldn't sit still, so I opened the curtains and took her outside to show her nothing was there. When we came back in, my girlfriend told me she was smelling something burning, and I noticed it too. So I went upstairs to check it out, and my brother brought it up as well. However, I wrote it off as a neighbor burning plastic or something, and decided to close the curtains and go back to bed. While we are laying down, our dog is still livid and darting around the room, following something. So I jokingly look over to my girlfriend and say, "Oh, watch out, it's the ghost." She didn't find it very funny, but we decided to test my theory. I have a suit hanging up off a speed bag I hung up on the wall. AC is off, and just for shits and giggles I say, if you are there, move the pants that are hanging up on the speed bag, and sure enough, they start to sway back and forth. We then decide to test it further and tell it to open the curtains. Now the curtains start to slowly inch open, and at this point our dog has calmed down, but she is visibly shaking and scared. I then tell it to move my state flag that is hanging on the wall beside our dog. The flag has never moved, but our dog sticks her tail between her legs and runs to the other side of the room and hides behind my girlfriend. So I walked over to where she was, and the air was ice cold. At this point, I absolutely knew there was a ghost here. However, I wasn't sure if it was one to be worried about, as there are 3 to 4 ghosts around my house and property, and I'm only worried about the one that is outside by our fire pit. So I began to test how nice it was, which was an awful idea. I threatened to kick it out, took off my Crocs, and went around the room with it in my hand saying Bible verses and such. Then when I laid back down, my left shoulder blade began to burn. My girlfriend checked it, and sure enough, right where the burning was, there were multiple scratches. Now at this point my mood began to shift. I got very angry and started cussing the ghost out and telling it I'm going to kick it out. After that, my entire back began to burn. I hadn't been scratching my back, and neither has my girlfriend. This all happened within 2 minutes. She checked me again, and now my entire back was scratched and red and hot. I'm in tremendous amount of pain, and my girlfriend wants to leave the room. So we run up the steps and realize our dog is still downstairs. So I ran back down, and while grabbing her, my girlfriend starts to scream and yell for me. While I was down the steps, she felt something grab and rip at the back of her thigh. Needless to say, we hightailed out of the house. After calming back down, We went back inside and went downstairs and tested it some more. We got it to move some things, and then I took her home. We both stated as soon as we left the house, we felt instantly better. My back had stopped burning, and after I had dropped her off, I went back to my house, and whenever I walked through the door, it was like running into a brick wall. Everything felt heavy and dreary, and it was uncomfortable to sleep. Every time I talk about it now, my back starts to burn again where the scratches are. My husband and I were honeymooning by driving our camping rig over landing and dirt roads from ghost town to ghost town. We'd pick a town and camp near it for the night. We always travel with our 2 dogs and cat, so all we need is a decent spot, slightly hidden, and we're good. As we drive up the backside of the mountain off the main road, I see abandoned cars and a few rundown houses. Nothing too weird, but I can't shake the pit in my stomach that's growing. We get further up and past a parking lot for the ghost town, and the higher we drive, the more my instinctive anxiety kicks in. You know, the fight or flight. Adding to that, my dogs start going nuts. Of course I wrote it off as them needing to get out, so we finally find a flat spot, and I realize my husband and I hadn't spoken the whole drive up. Probably about 45 minutes. He goes to get out of the car to see if it's level, and I grabbed his hand and say, "Please don't turn the lights off." I think I saw eyes before we stopped. He just looks at me confused and says why he has to, but he'll leave the cabin lights on. When he gets out, all I can think about is how it's watching. I don't even know what it is, but I sensed it followed us from where the eyes flashed. Now, we camp a lot, and I get spooked, but my husband never does. We usually hang out and I relax, and it's fine. He's never left a spot because I've been so alarmed. When he said we should go, I knew he felt there was something there too. We head down a different road, the paved one, to I-90. Driving fast, I looked in the rear view mirror, but the dogs were in the way, and the tint is so dark, you can't see well at night. But there was a rumble, like something big was running. The tension is growing, dogs are pacing, and my husband and I are bickering. It starts snowing hard out of nowhere. We come around a turn, and a stark white rabbit dashes in front of the car, and we hit it. A hush fell over all of us. After that, until we got down the mountain onto a side road, all anxiety we felt was gone. The next day, as we're driving back to Garnett, on the main mountain road, we came out on. We noticed the point when we ascended the mountain that we both start feeling nervous. I looked at my husband after we made the big turn and said, "Where's the rabbit?" It was gone. No carcass, no blood, no animal tracks. No trace it has ever been there. The snow wasn't deep enough to have buried it because we could see our distinct tracks from the previous night. So we get to the ghost town and we're talking to the rangers about the creepiness on the mountain. And one of the guys says, "Yeah, there's something up here. I wouldn't stay by myself at night." The other one smiles and says, "What exactly did you see and feel?" So I told him I felt feared. I felt that it was odd. Not human, hadn't been human for a while, if ever. I said it wasn't a ghost, and it wasn't a living crazy person. I said I felt like it wanted to eat me, which I know is strange, but I felt like we were being hunted. And I said at one point, I thought I saw its red eyes. I was pretty young, but still believed spiritual things like ghosts. So when this happened, I was baffled. I was traveling with some family and we found a hotel we could stay at. It was not a normal looking hotel. It looked more as if an old-timed hotel. We all had thoughts about this, but we didn't think too far ahead. The first couple of days were okay, but then I would tend to hear a little girl humming, and all of this took place mostly in the bathroom. After maybe a week, I tried to avoid going to the bathroom as much as possible. When I overhear my sister talking to my mom about feeling like we weren't the only ones in the room, I felt as if I had a knot in my stomach, and although I slept in the middle, I still felt like it wasn't my sister or my mother sleeping next to me. I also got weird feels when we went to the laundry room. I feel like I could confirm the spirit of some sort was a girl, because one, my sister and my mom said they also thought it was a little girl, and two, is because the eerie feeling that was the spirit's humming sounded like a girl. We never complained though for some reason. This is going to be kind of like a diary of things that are happening around my apartment. So here's what's been going on as of today. I live in an apartment in Germany. I'm a female student who is studying to become an artist. I've been in this apartment for 6 weeks. I've never felt uneasy renting apartments because I travel a lot. But this one just seems odd. I'm constantly paranoid and feel like as if someone or something is watching me. But every time I check just to make sure everything is okay and no one is there, could just call this paranoia. But the past few days, a few small things have randomly vanished and were never seen again, even though I know where I put them. Per se, keys, food, soap, pencils, paper, and other things around my house. Today, my favorite green knife went missing, and it really concerns me. I've looked everywhere, and I just couldn't find it. I've been getting some good advice and installing cameras like the most logical thing to do in this situation. My local stores don't sell cameras, so I bought some online. I don't know if I'm being paranoid, but you never know. My room is getting really cold, even though I have the heat on. I noticed that all of my paperwork has been messed with. It was nice and organized, and now it's all over the floor. I'm going to check my vents and basement again. If anything happens, I promise I will update you. Alrighty guys, that's gonna end it off for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, as I really do appreciate it. I just want to say thank you all so much for the support on the last video. I truly do appreciate that so much. If you guys enjoyed the longer form of content, make sure to leave a like. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, and like always, peace out.